Hey guys, another episode of Trainer Confidential. This is going to be a really good one. We have a lot of stuff that happened this past week in the news of bodybuilding. So
Yeah, catch
we're
up.
going to jump right into that. We're actually going to start off with our lineup for the Arnold. So Arnold added another 100 grand to the purse. So obviously that puts some more people in the mix here. So it's going to be an
Yeah,
interesting show.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah,
before we had what, 7 competitors. Now we got a lot more. So anyway, I'm gonna bring up the competitor roster right now. Here we are. So we got Andrew Jack. I have no idea how to pronounce his actual full name. Do you know how to pronounce it?
but where's
This is Andrew right here.
oh, is that okay? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know how to, he's a British dude. Uh
Oh, okay.
yeah, anyway, so that's why I call him
We'll
Andrew
we'll,
Jack.
we'll just stick with Jack.
Yeah. So we got Andrew Jack and we got Nick Walker, man. Uh, well, we got some other guys on there too. Patrick Moore is another one. Nick Walker, man, I mean, I don't think it's
That's
going to be
yeah,
a
that's
test
that.
for him.
Yeah,
I
to
really
to
don't.
me, that's going to be the top dog right there. And so if he's a defending champion, um, and he's already got some decent winnings, and now he gets a chance to add another 300,000 to his payroll. Yeah, I think with Sean is still, he can still do some damage, but it gets to the point where if you get somebody like a Walker who has that degree of conditioning, but is just way bigger. Okay, and the thing, I mean, symmetry and proportion and all that stuff in conditioning, you got to have it. You have to have that in bodybuilding and stuff. You have to have that in
Yeah.
any physique sport. But
Yeah.
but if you have the bigger footprint, the person that possesses all those qualities and has a bigger footprint, it's pretty much a done deal.
Yeah.
I can, and that's how I say it. Right now, I would definitely put him in the front as a front runner and stuff. And
Yep.
the thing about it is this: if Brandon or the Olympia winner, if they decide to show up, that would also change the dynamic a little bit and stuff. So now you gotta change it up a little bit. I would probably still have Sean probably maybe top three,
Yeah.
maybe four, three, four. I would have him still somewhere around there. But with Jack
All he's got
coming
to do
in.
is come in a little off though, and Sean could take him out. That could happen.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. No wrong. That's why I still have him in
Yeah.
the. If he were the size that he was compared to these other guys, and he just was inconsistent, I would have him out of the top 5 lineup. I would have him on the, so because they're just way bigger, But Sean has a quality to his physique and stuff. Then he's consistent enough to where I feel like I'd still need to have him at least about top 3 or top 4.
Yeah. And the thing about Walker is he's been coming in better every time too. So he hasn't went down in his placings or anything. Only been going up. So
Yeah, and he's like I said, he's consistent. I just cannot emphasize, and I cannot overemphasize that factor of consistency in bodybuilding and stuff.
yeah.
I mean, if you decide that you're going to make this an endeavor for 6, 7, 8, 9 years and stuff, you have to really, really, really be consistent. Meaning, there isn't a huge difference between your off-season protocols and your prep protocols. There are some differences, but they're not major differences. And just during that off season, you're actually moving forward. You're going to stay on in some type of diet, and you're just going to continue to train and stuff. And I just cannot emphasize that enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got see, we got here's Jack right here. So was this at the this might have been at the Texas Pro or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, I think it was one of the
Yeah.
shows that he won and stuff. And like I said, the guy's just got loads of potential, and as big as he is right now, he can still fill out some more. That's
Oh
the
yeah.
deal. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the crazy thing about it.
Yeah.
He's not full like a Paul Dillette full. Paul Dillette, who was roughly about 6'2", 6'3", 6'3", and he really filled that physique out. And once Jax does that and stuff, I mean, and he gets tighter, I mean, it's the sky's the limit for him.
Because he's a fairly young guy. That's young muscle. He's not even
Yeah,
close to his potential.
yeah. Now, do I have him in the ring to get the 300 grand and stuff? Well, it's going to depend on what he brings to the show. So that's mainly the thing with him is, which package is he going to bring? If he brings one of his better packages, he's going to do well.
Yeah. Well, I got a picture more too. There we go. There's more.
Now
I don't know when this picture was taken.
Yeah, he's got great structure. He's got his thing's always just been size and stuff, and he put on a fairly decent amount of size, and people saying, well, you still got to get bigger and stuff, and I think he was thinking about even going to Classic at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was thinking about going to Classic at one point, but this is a situation. This is a contest that's probably kind of ideal for him and stuff. He's got great symmetry. He always brings that conditioning and stuff. It's just that he needs to just fill out some more. But with the quality and the structure that he has, he can maximize his strength and probably do a little bit of damage there and stuff if other folks are off a little bit and stuff. So yeah, I can see why he would probably want to do it.
Yeah.
I wonder how old he is, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's been around a while.
Let me look him up real quick. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm guessing he's probably in his mid-30s or something like that.
Yeah, he's been in bodybuilding. I don't see you maxing out until you like well in your 40s and maybe in your low 50s.
Well, Clarita, isn't he like 41 or 40 or something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're right. I think probably your early 40s is some of your best years for
it's not necessarily a young man, although in a way it is, but it's not necessarily a young man sport and stuff. So yeah.
Well, that's wrapped up for the Arnold as of now.
Right.
I'm sure there's gonna be more guys in there.
Yeah, we had to touch on it.
Yeah. So,
but you were right though. I mean, that hey, look, this thing could change up and stuff, and you have it. There you have it.
So I'm waiting for Lunsford to get in there. If Lunsford gets in there and he comes like he did at the Olympia, he'll take it. I mean, I think he will. But
he needs an Arnold Classic title. I mean,
he doesn't have one, does he?
Jay did it, and Ronnie did it, and I don't know if Phil did it or not. Did Phil compete in Arnold? Because I know it's just something you got to have. You got to have that Arnold win and stuff. But yeah, I don't know.
Shows. Okay, here we go. Here's the past competitors, winners.
So I'm just saying the Olympias. You can see Jay Cutler there. You can see Dexter's there. You see Ronnie's there. I don't see Phil Heath though. So Phil never did the Arnold.
Well, speaking of Phil, there is rumors that he was thinking about doing the Arnold. I don't know if it, just rumors. So you never.
I will say this. He looked pretty good. He looks really full and stuff. I'm like, wow. And typically, if you kind of retire, you downsize a little bit. I mean, he downsized pretty quickly and stuff. And I've seen some other people they down, but he seems still to be fairly full. Jay Cutler's downsized. And but yeah, he's you think you're like, wow, well, he looks like he.
Yeah, is he going to do something here?
Well, the thing about it is when let me see. Oh, that's right. He did another Olympia, and I think what did he get again? He got like he didn't get second. He was in the top 3 or top 4 or something like that, but he didn't. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think he got 3rd because Cutler. Brandon beating
Curry. Yeah, Curry.
That's right.
Curry.
So
yep.
yeah, it was Ramy, Curry, and then it was Phil. So he got 3rd.
Yep.
So he can still, I mean, if he can do some damage,
Oh yeah.
He
Oh
didn't
yeah.
look he just didn't look he didn't have that wow factor that he typically has and stuff, but it's not like he looked terrible or anything like that. And he was still in an open lineup and he got third in the Olympia. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's Phil Heath, but you expect not you have some certain expectations, but still,
Yes.
on its face, I mean that's pretty extraordinary, actually.
I think he's won the most money. He's the most successful paid a bodybuilder as far as being paid for shows and stuff. Because when he started doing the Olympias, starting winning the Olympias, I think it was like 300 grand,
Yeah, yeah,
and then it
yeah.
just
Because
started going up with him in there.
right, because I remember even with Jay, I think most Jay ever got was I don't think he got past 200,000. I think it was like
200, yeah,
100 and some odd thousand. Him and
yeah,
Ronnie and stuff. Ronnie was getting like 120, 115, stuff like that. So
yeah.
he got 8 of those, and barely altogether cumulatively it's barely over $1 million over an 8-year period. I mean, you know.
There's something wrong with that. All
Yeah,
right, next.
that's a subject for another day.
Yeah, it is. It's a big subject. Me and you both can agree on that one. Okay, so next one, Eddie Hall. Eddie Hall, a lot of you guys don't know, he was the world's strongest man, 6-time world's strongest man, I believe. No, that's Brian Shaw. Anyway, he's got the world record in the deadlift also. So last year he boxed Thor Borgeson. It was a big rival, and they had a big thing and call out. And this is him. This is Eddie Hall on the left. That's his normal strongest man conditioning there. On the right is when he conditioned for the fight, which he looked pretty good there. So
Well,
he disclosed,
he looks about 11 weeks out.
yeah, yeah, he does, yeah. And
That's a
we're getting to
great
that.
11 weeks out look.
So we're getting to that part. So here's the thing. This last week, he's done a lot of stuff. He's been doing CrossFit. He's been boxing. The guy, I love Eddie
Yeah,
Hall.
it's
He's an
admirable.
awesome dude.
It
Well, he
is.
wants to try bodybuilding now, and he wants to do a show this year. So, which that's great. But he wants to do it this year. Now he don't look like this no more. This is what he looks like now. This is 7 days ago. So
I would say I would typically when I get athletic guys and they want to do this and stuff, and they want to do shows and stuff. As a matter of fact, I got a guy right now, and he's a big guy. He's very athletic and stuff. I say, hey, look, guys, try physique first. Go to
yeah,
men's physique.
yeah,
I mean, they would pan out a lot better off, because it if you get them really lean, they look really athletic, and even in that case, they're still going to be limited because physiques, their development is much higher than the average person, and these guys, they are elite athletes and stuff, but to come bodybuild, and even in physique, they're going to pick them apart there too, but
yeah,
in bodybuilding, there's just a little bit more to it as far as the development. The muscle development is much, much, much greater, and like I said, it's pretty high in physique too, but
yeah,
not to the extent of men's bodybuilding. I think that the degree of muscular development just isn't high enough for that. But
yeah,
definitely, if you can come down, and it's not going to be easy neither. This isn't a cakewalk or anything like that. I'm not saying that men's physique is easier. I'm just saying that it's different,
yeah,
and he would be far better off if you take another 5% off of him and stuff. He'd probably be I'd be if it would be, I think he'd fare out better than
yeah.
he would if he were to actually go into men's bodybuilding.
See, I think if he made his decision to compete right here on the right this year, I'd say yeah. But this one is he's got a lot of work to do. But the guy's a hard worker, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
we're just talking a lot of cardio
yeah,
and some
yeah.
suffering.
Which
Actually,
he
I
does
mean,
that. The guy's pretty active, dude. He does a lot. I like watching the guy. He's pretty funny and
he looks
everything.
like he's about. I mean, he looks like he's
Oh
about
yeah,
probably about 14,
yeah,
14%, something like that. You
Yeah.
know, the average male, the actual requirements, you know, there are lots of recommendations. There's no one set standard, but between 8 and 15. So he looks like he's somewhere in there. So he's holding a lot of muscle. And of
Oh
course,
yeah,
he's got a big frame too, but you
he's
know,
got a thick frame. That's the thing about it.
right. And that's
Yeah, he
part
has
of
a
the
lot
lean
of
body
muscle on him.
mass too. So yeah, he's got a pretty thick frame and stuff. But yeah, I would definitely say, hey, look, let's get you shredded and let's do some men's physique.
Yeah.
And then, you know, from there, you know, and see where we go from there to see if he wants, because it would probably take about a couple of off seasons, you know, to really get that muscular development, you know, to where it really needs to be and stuff, you know, to actually do bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm. So next up, I wanted to talk about Bumstead. It just came out. He found out the Monday after the Olympia, he tore his bicep, and he didn't know it was torn. This is kind of the best picture I could find, but
Yeah.
so he went through prejudging with a torn bicep. He woke up next morning and it was really messed up for finals, and he went and won the whole show with a torn bicep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
And
pretty
that,
impressive. It is Chris
yeah,
Bumstead. But yeah, so
that
anyway,
that's
I
that.
think it couldn't have
Yeah.
been that big of a tear, so I don't think it's really gonna ruin his career or nothing. But
No, it's not like Dorian Yates's bicep
no,
tear, the way that puppy was. It was obvious that he tore that bicep. But the
yeah,
thing about it is with Bumstead, he's just indicative of the Ronnie Colemans and the Lee Haney's and the Dorian Yates, to where they're it's a combination of work ethics and genetics, the whole 9 yards, that mental genetics that they have and stuff, you know, that even at about 90s, they're not really vulnerable unless they get like under 95%. Bumstead, he can probably still take, you know, take the Olympia at about 97%, whereas some people, even at 99%, they can't beat his 97%. You know, it's one of those things where he really, really, really has to be off, you know, and despite, something like a bicep tear or something like that. Because like I
yeah,
said, Dorian, he defended his Olympia, you know, with that torn bicep and stuff, and it was obvious that it was torn and stuff, you know. But the thing about it is this: he just overcompensated, you know, with just that conditioning, and just came in really hard and grainy to compensate for that, and it was enough to, you know, to pull him through and stuff. And you know, Ronnie Coleman's, and now you got the you got our name.
Oh, Chopin.
No, Chupin. We're
Chopin.
talking about
Yeah.
we're talking about Bumstead. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Boy, I tell you. Bumstead. So yeah, and so Bumstead, he falls in that category, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about the Masters Olympia now. So 2023, they open up Masters Olympia. It's in Romania. So I wanted to talk about. Well, here's the page here. So here's the criteria, which so we got 40 years and older for men's physique, classic physique, women's figure, all that kind of stuff, and then 45 years and older for men's bodybuilding, men's 212. Here's the thing about it: to get in there, it's you have to apply. You just got to give them your background, history, your social media accounts, which is kind of weird. And you got to put a little video in there and a photograph. Yeah, so that's how you get on the roster. It's a little odd.
So yeah, and this one, there's some on your actual shape. So my deal, I'm not gonna just starting right off the bat, you know, I'm not gonna do it this year.
Yeah.
They're still trying to feel stuff out. What they're looking at now is they're looking at some of the more popular bodybuilders back in the day. That seems to be who they're kind of catering to, because like I said, you've got an infrastructure. You got a pro masters bodybuilding infrastructure already. You've got the Legions Pro, and you got the Masters Pro Worlds, you know, and they had pretty decent turnouts and stuff. But what they're targeting here right now are are very popular bodybuilders that were back in the day and stuff, and so that's who they're, and I think that's why they're asking for the pics of the of what kind of shape you're in, because some of these guys like Dexter and some, they even after they retired, they continue to train, and they continue to train well and stuff, and they were able to maintain that, but some bodybuilders, and like I said, Kevin Lebroni, he hadn't trained in quite a number of years in his first appearance back at the Olympia and stuff. I think it was the Olympia. He hadn't trained or anything,
That's right.
And so what they want to do is they want to see what these bodybuilders that were popular back in the day, what they look like, and I guess it's kind of like a board to say, hey, look, all right, yeah, I can see you have the potential to look well, and and then they'll give you a thumbs up and stuff. So also the age right now, they're starting with 40 and up, 40 and 45. And my deal is this: I've competed in some 50 shows, and I've competed against some 40-year-olds and stuff. But me, I'm gonna want to stay in my lane. I do know that there was a 60 division for the Olympia, and Ed Corney was the last one to win it. They're not going to have that this year and stuff. So I think they're just trying to get their feet wet a little bit and stuff. Yeah. But like I said, you got Gary Udick, and you've got the guy that runs the Legion and stuff. They've kind of got it, they've kind of got a good beat on how to run those pro master shows. But with the Olympia and being the way it is right now, is I think they're just want to be cautious to see how it's going to turn out and stuff.
Yeah,
because they can go. I figured they could go maybe just 40 and 50. You've got some tremendous 50-year-olds out there and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the 60 class, and I can compete, with, some of the other classes, but like I pretty much stay in my lane, among 60s and stuff. I mean, I can definitely hold my own, and in some cases even in a 50s lineup. But if you're talking about elite 50s, elite 60 going against an elite 50, it's just not gonna happen. I stand side by side with these guys, and then an elite 50 going against an elite 40. Yeah, if you got an average 40-year-old lineup and you get an elite 50-year-old, yeah, chances are he's going to do really, really, really well and stuff, And but if he's going against other elite 40s, his peers in a younger age group, it's not going to turn out well for. But he can still make a good impression. You can still hold your own. But as far as coming away with a win, I'm going to win. It's just, for the most part, it's not going to happen, So I was, I'll just sit back. I'm going to sit this year up, but I am going to do the Worlds. I'm going to do the Worlds again in the 60 division. I'm going to do the Legion again in the 60 division, and then I will see how this thing's going to go, over the next couple of years or so. So.
Yeah, I think that's the best plan, because let's just feel it out, see what the Olympia is doing. Because I mean, I was kind of surprised. It's like you said, they're trying to start, see what happens. But it just seems to me that your Worlds, you should have been qualified for the Olympia for winning that.
But
right?
the thing, but the thing is there, even if I would not 40. And like I said, elite 40s, it's just not going to happen.
Sure, no, I get that.
And it's just like elite 50s, and like I said, if it's just an average 40 lineup or an average 50 lineup, sure, I'll do it. That's what I'm going to do. The Masters West Coast, IFBB Masters West Coast, and there is no 60 division, it's just 50 division, 50 and 40. Okay, I'm gonna do that. That's not a problem. Getting ready for the Worlds and stuff, and so I have no qualms with that, But I'm gonna stay in my. I know my lane, I know the lane that I need to be in, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. So next year, then they probably would. You would be qualified and it'd be an invite, just like the regular Olympia. Then, right? It wouldn't be a
right. But it's gonna depend on how they break it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
and like I said, it's going to depend on what the turnout's going to be here, the whole 9 yards. It's not like they wouldn't get the athletes, to do it. I mean, there are lots of big names that are in their 60s. Tony Pearson's in his 60s and stuff, and you got Vince Taylor who's in his 60s and stuff, and so we're about the same age, and so it's not like you're not going to have big names show up in these different divisions and stuff, these age brackets. And the thing about I think that bodybuilding, unlike most other sports, I think it can capitalize a little bit on its masters competitors and stuff.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because people, they look at it, wow, this guy's 60 years old. This, that's
Yeah,
incredible. Yeah. And I'm looking at some of these, in the Olympia, your third place winner was in his 50s. And he beat younger guys he beat elite 40-year-olds and elite 30-year-olds. And this guy's 50 years old. That's something to be said about that. That's, to me,
that's
that
pretty
would
awesome.
be a big positive for bodybuilding and stuff, to see, that people that age, with that degree of development and stuff, and it's a lot of people, even at my gym, I'm members, they see us train, they see us get in shape, they see the athletes, a lot of masters athletes at my gym and stuff, and they say a lot of times it motivates them, say that these people, they're older than I am, or just as old as I am, and they look incredible and stuff. I don't want to do what it takes to get like them, but I'd like to get better. It's one of those things where, I think I can get better because I'm looking at Linda and I'm looking at, some of the other masters competitors at the gym and stuff, and it motivates them, motivates their Gen Pop members.
Yeah, that's very true. It does too. And I think the general consensus, you're 62 years old and I got to bring up you're six. I got to bring up your picture just again to let it, it's just amazing. 63 years old and you look like this. If that isn't an inspiration, I don't know what is. Really.
Yeah.
In my mind, before I met you and got into bodybuilding, even, I would not expect a 60-year-old person to look like that. I would, because you look 40 to me right there. You look like you're in your 40s.
And the thing about it, at the Worlds in my class, that was, one, but it wasn't like a real easy win.
No.
You had other seats that they look phenomenal, and I just really think that bodybuilding can capitalize on their masters competitors like no other sport can.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing that people don't realize too, is that you're working harder than everybody else because of your age. You have to work that much harder.
And but so I have to work a lot smarter too, though.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah, I throw it around, but it's a little bit more judicious. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I think it was Dexter. Dexter, his last show he did, he was talking because he always had these incredible genetics. He kind of pretty much ate what he want. He screwed off on his diets, and he never really said anything about it until later in his last Olympia, and he's older, and he realized he can't do that no more. Dieting was hard. Like, this is hard shit to do. It's just his genetics. It's his genetics. He was able to do that when he was younger, and he got older. He just couldn't do that. It's a lot harder when you're older. Then you got all those aches and pains and all the other stuff. I'm 40 and I'm feeling it, and you're 20 years older than me. So so yeah, if that ain't an inspiration, I don't know what is, man.
We as a matter of fact, I'll start prep here in I think I'm like 24 weeks out. I'll start prep about probably 12 weeks out, and get ready for I guess it's Rancho Mirage. I think it's south of Palm Springs is where it's at. And nice. Then I'm off. Then I'm off. I'm doing the Worlds in August, and I believe I'm doing the Legion in October. So
And we're going to be documenting that prep too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to dive in and see how Donnie does things. So that's going to be cool. I already know, but I want to show everybody else too. Cause yeah, it's a different world. So, well, that's all we got for tonight, you guys. We'll see you next week. Like and subscribe. Any comments, suggestions, got any ideas on anything, questions, just give us a shout out in the comments, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely, man.
Have a good night, Donnie.
You too, man.